Alright, hello and welcome back, everyone. We are playing some Victoria 3 today. We are going to be playing as, or continuing as, Jorao, in the Divergences mod, which is an alternate timeline mod that is kind of built around multiplayer. It has a lot of middling strength powers and a lot of formables all over the place, but we here are playing as Australia. Very key in this mod, Divergences is the name of the mod. Okay, we do have some problems with Australia in regards to some of our state bonuses aren't very good. I think that this is certainly fair. Not just the minus colonial growth speed, but minus infrastructure, minus state construction efficiency, these types of things. We have this in most of our provinces except for right here in Yaluo. I think might be the only province, or Great Yongding. But very keyly, relative to vanilla, Australia actually has arable land. The vanilla experience, Australia has something like 80 to like 120 total arable land, which is just absolutely insane for a continent that's the same size as the USA. I understand that there's less arable land per, like, hectare of land or whatever, than, like, the USA, but, like, they're the same size. The USA has, like, thousands of arable land, and Australia just has 120. That's a little bit rough. You know what's even, like, more rough? Like, the place that, there's, like, two regions in the world that has, like, the absolute least arable land. I think, like, here has the least arable land, like, per acre, and Mongolia has, like, the least arable land per acre. They're kind of tied. If we take a look at Mongolia's arable land, which I think is just kind of ported in from... Oh, it's not ported in from vanilla. But if you look at it in vanilla, it's, like, an amount of arable land that's, like, looks quite a bit more than what Australia is, and Australia is not as barren, like, in its entirety, in terms of the ability to grow crops. To be fair, they have cattle in Mongolia, which is, like, a different thing, so, it's not really arable land, it's, like, land you could use for grazing, so maybe a misnomer, but, I categorically don't want to play Australia ever in vanilla, as a result of, some of these things, so we have that going on. We're on interventionism, which we wanted to be on, to test out being able to build in our subjects a little bit more. We've kind of been doing this. It just feels... One of the things is building in other countries kind of sucks under laissez-faire. Laissez-faire is considerably better than interventionism. I think the sad truth is this mechanic of being able to build in other countries, you just aren't supposed to utilize it actively, and instead you're just supposed to utilize it passively. You're supposed to let your investors build in other countries, and you never actively build in it, because when you actively build in it under laissez-faire, which is just better, it's bad for your economy. And this is kind of the thought that I'm developing here. Hey Zoe, how's it going? Even if it isn't arable land for agriculture, animal husbandry is huge in Australia. Exactly. Like, that it has, like... I think it has less than less than Mongolian vanilla. We don't have, you know, kind of the states in Mongolia here, but I believe that if you look at all the states in Mongolia in total, and all of Australia in total, Australia has less, which is just insane. And... including Inner Mongolia. So if you take the two Mongolian states, I think it's like this and this or something. Maybe these are the two states. They're just... Are these just the two Mongolian states? Maybe these are. But if we take a look, 30, 40, and 20, I think that the numbers in vanilla are actually way higher on arable land. So maybe they actually decrease this here. Or maybe they decreased it in vanilla too. It used to be higher, but in any case, this is 70 plus 20, that's 90. And, like, Australia is way bigger than Mongolia. And Mongolia, like, in terms of countries, modern day countries, I think, like, there's, like, a Bahrain or something, or is the only, like, modern day country with less arable land per acre than, Mongolia. As far as the map goes, in terms of what's going on, we do see the formation of the Albian Confederation. The Danubian Confederation Rus has formed. Scandinavia is looking big. China has formed. This is probably the one that's most significant for us. They have not taken Qing in with them. I think that we have some subjects around and about. What color are we? Jora market. We do have a couple subjects that we have made. They are importantly generating us mandate. We have colonial offices 1. We are a religious convocation because we wanted to test it. Very importantly, religious convocation seems the best at reducing subject autonomy more than any other. We're not going to reduce autonomy on anyone because we want to keep these guys under 75. Every time they change attitude and it gets negative, this is a diplomatic catalyst that can form a negative, political lobby against you. And so generally you want to avoid going down in rank in terms of, attitude. If your attitude changes negatively, you're likely to form a political lobby. Which, if we bring a subject from being under 75 to over 75, that will change their attitude a lot of times, so we're not going to do that. But we could actively build a new Toledo because we're on interventionism, and then the state will own the building. However, if we don't annex New Toledo, where is New Toledo? If we do not annex them, the problem is that ownership will go public if we ever go onto laissez-faire. As a matter of, speaking of this stuff, as a matter of UI, I kind of don't like that in the UI, this button includes the buildings you own abroad, which I don't think we own a lot of buildings abroad, but if we click up here, there's no bifurcation between domestic privatization and foreign privatization, as far as I know. It seems you're quite well read. Are there any nonfiction books you recommend? If you look in the description, you'll see that I have links to 2 other YouTube pages. On the other YouTube page, I do book reviews for the ideas page, and you can check that out, where I have a bunch of book recommendations. I could probably recommend a nonfiction book, but you'd have to give me some more specific sort of request. Anyways, let's unpause and be on our way as to what you're maybe interested in, because there's a lot of nonfiction books. Scandies guaranteeing our independence. I think we want to kind of slowly work towards getting all of Australia, and to be fair, we have a lot of journal entries to that end. Or we have had a lot of journal entries to that end. We might be... I think we have another one. We might research civilizing mission. Yeah. Be able to try and get this going. To that end, what are we researching right now? Nitro? That's fair. To be fair, Bahrain is tiny. Yeah, it's some country on the Arabian Peninsula that's basically just sand. That beats off, Mongolia. But, Mongolia's... Mongolia is extraordinarily dry. Like, you can't really grow stuff very well in Mongolia. We want to add construction, and our investment pool is growing, which is definitely something to take a look at. This is our capital here, so we would prefer to build here, generally speaking. The investment pool is effectively not very grown, though. I wonder... So, there is a bit of an interesting thing. Do we prefer it when private industry buys 3 buildings, or builds one of their own, and leaves us with 3 government buildings. Because it's roughly the same price for this to happen. They can buy a logging camp for 50k, and if they construct a logging camp, it'll cost them around 150k total on iron frame buildings, which we might not even be on anymore. It'll be cheaper per construction once you get onto steel frame, and I think this is at base prices, so it's even more expensive for them when prices are elevated, which they often are. Which one do we prefer here? Probably that they buy 3 buildings, then build their own. Because both are going to cost the investment pool a similar amount, right? And so the outcome from the investment pool perspective is basically the same. I suppose on the latter, well, we will have 3 government-owned buildings, and 1 private building if we don't sell, and if we sell, we will have 3 private buildings and 1 government building. The government building coming from the fact that they paid us enough to build another government building, and we generally prefer private buildings. Is this modded? It is modded. Hey Genius, how's it going? So, yeah, I mean, we just prefer private ownership, so I guess you're supposed to sell off pretty aggressively then. Been thinking through, we have to make an ownership video, and I've been trying to get a little bit more of a handle on things, but, yeah, it seems like we should put up for sale. The problem is we definitely want to make sure capitalists buy them, and that capitalists are the primary thrust. But at this point, capitalists do have more income, so they are more likely to be buying these things. But I think what we do is we put up for sale at the same time some amount of agrarian buildings. Do we have any in the queue? And if we put up some agrarian buildings, then let's maybe build a couple of these. If we put up some agrarian buildings at the same time, what will happen is the agricultural guys will be more likely to buy the agrarian ones. Now the problem is, from a user interface perspective, very uncomfortable. So we're going to have these 2 finish here, and then we are going to be finding buildings to privatize. Alright, so we are going to come in here and we are going to say privatize both of these. And so now the investment pool, it's not very big, but expecting if there are manor houses that want to buy a building, they will buy those. They might have to fully employ up. I don't know what the internal logic is on that. And then we'll take a look at... we can't change this because we don't own this building. Or we own this building, but it's abroad, but it is... or it's not government owned. This is ours. It is government owned. And we will enable privatization on it. See, in Transvaal, this is one of our subjects. We own 1 level as the government. So we do not want to privatize specifically this one in Transvaal. Oh, it just doesn't let us try and choose. But I believe that if we toggle privatization here, it would privatize the Transvaal one, and it would be bought by their investors. So from the perspective of the UI, we don't want to do that. And I do wish the button was a little bit different. But let's come in here. So this is another reason for just going laissez-faire and playing around this type of thing. Shuang Grong, I think, is ours. Let's find some of these chops that are government owned. We owned some in Wessex. Over here as the government. Or wait, no, private industries own some of these. Well, we didn't build these ourselves. They built them. So our investors also invested abroad with their money, which is yet another reason I think we would prefer to have buildings be nationalizing ourselves. Let's write some of this down. Or why we should privatize. But this is maybe a bit of a wash, right? Because to some degree, we don't mind that they build abroad if they're building profitable industries, you know, in Bjornia, because this will give us more leverage over Bjornia. But this does mean that if we choose to not nationalize very aggressively, the investment pool will be going over towards that sort of thing. And they will be building more in other countries, so you can manipulate it in that way. But you could just build yourself if you were trying to acquire leverage. I think would be better, and I think it'd be better just to nationalize as many buildings domestically as possible. Xinjiang, I think, is ours, so let's privatize this. This is ours as well. This is Zululand. Do we control Zululand? It looks like we do. But this is a bit of a situation where, from a UI perspective, this is kind of a nightmare, huh? If you have to go in one state at a time to enable privatization in a particular way. Hey Toby, how's it going? This mod is fantastic. We're just trying to think our way through a little bit on ownership, in terms of strategy, nationalization versus not. It's actually just kind of a little bit tedious, to be honest. Am I doing something wrong? Your investment pool rarely goes down. You're either in like a late game where you're running low taxes. You should probably have higher taxes and higher construction to drain the investment pool better. Like, our investment pool is just building up to enough to buy a building, and then they're buying a building. But now they won't be constructing buildings themselves. What the hell, Burgundy? What the hell? What is this? Sultans, thank you for the follow, Big Nice. Can your capitalists buy foreign buildings that you privatize? Yes, but you do not want to privatize foreign buildings basically ever, because not only can your capitalists buy them, the foreign ownership can. They often have a lot of investment pools saved up, and what will happen is this, so we want to actively avoid, if we I think we built in Transvaal. Let's take a look. I think we own 2 tooling workshops here in Transvaal, or 1 tooling workshop. If we privatize this, which for whatever reason the UI is not allowing us to, but we don't want to anyways. The UI not allowing us to is a little bit weird. That's probably a bug. But we would not want to anyways, because it's very likely that they have a lot of investment pool available, and they would buy it. And it would cost them 150k, but it costs us more than 450k in terms of construction materials and labor to build the building. So we would not be getting refunded like kind of the same amount. So we wouldn't want to. Oh, so you invaded South Africa after all? Of course. I think we've subjugated a lot of them. And we are going to look to reduce autonomy. But the ticker is that if you're building in foreign countries for the purposes of decreasing their liberty desire, you want to be on interventionism. But the thing is, I just think that the problem is you're going to build stuff that is government-owned, which is just less efficient. So... I want more granularity in terms of what I can do with some of this stuff as well. Like, the problem is like, from a UI perspective, this is also just a nightmare, and going laissez-faire is better, because I can't click this privatize all button, because I don't want to privatize the foreign stuff. And so I have to manually go in and look and evaluate what's foreign and what's not, and then just not privatize any of the foreign stuff. So, for example, Hijaz. Do we own Hijaz? Yeah, we do. Okay, so then privatizing this is fine. But the fact that we either have to know what we own or do it by hand, and we have to do it by hand for every single industry and just scroll through all this in order to make the correct decision. What I think is the correct decision is a little bit rough. Do you privatize all the buildings that makes the most profit? The more profitable the building, the better privatization is. We are just kind of privatizing just most industries because you really don't want everything privatized. Does mod only change borders, or does it add events and new nation forming? It adds a ton of formable nations all across the world to kind of give nearly everyone something to work towards. So it adds a bunch of flavor, it adds a bunch of events. It doesn't change game balance very much. The biggest change to game balance is that resources are a little bit different. So Persia doesn't have updated resources, unfortunately. Ho, 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 ho. Another change is that you do see some of these buildings. The monuments are a lot more important, and there's more of them, where they're giving authority and influence, for example, and like 5k minting. So you can use the building registry now. You might be right. Let's come into here. It's located abroad. Okay, so it's located in Zoroastro. Okay, we can use the building registry. You're right. So we can come in here. Let's actually test. We're gonna do all of these on privatize, but we know that there is one abroad. Right? Oh, that's the tooling workshops. Okay. And it's not the end of the world if we privatize some tooling workshops abroad and someone else buys them. It's like, it's kind of fine. It's kind of fine. We try not to cry, and then we cry a lot, though. But we're gonna do that anyways, so. You are correct, though. I am not used to utilizing this tool, but I guess you just have to use the building registry for this. Okay, so we already do have privatization toggled on all of the domestic ones. Let's look at abroad. And we can toggle it, but it's currently off on abroad. So, yeah, it looks like what the solution is here is for us to just come in here and I think for everything that is not military goods, because military goods are a little bit of a different thing, we just come in here and we enable them to be purchased. Because this will, like in a 3-to-1 ratio, roughly speaking, privatize buildings over having them be government-owned. We would prefer privatized buildings in general. So we will do that, and they will start buying some buildings up. How many battalions does China have? Newly formed China probably has a lot less than vanilla, but they do have a really big army. They are kind of spooky. Are you going to make a building registry video with the stream? We're not going to use the stream, but we are going to maybe talk about the registry. But that's probably an important thing to note. Whoa. Do they even get there in time? Hopefully they do. Why is there just so absolutely weak here? Hopefully they don't get full occupied. We hate to turn off a heavy barrager, but I think... Oh no, the front's pushing faster than... The front's gonna push before they get there. Please, please, Bueller, please, please, please. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I see you. We're gonna have to focus up, baby. This will be good enough for us to... Are they getting help from more than just... Is it more than just Iraq? There we go. We in it. I wonder if we could just push here. Let's just switch to defend. Let's move this 12 stack over. And then with the 3 stack, we're going to... Actually, we're going to come in here. We're going to land here as well. Oh, city of plenty. Stupid Burgundy, man. This is our continent. We are on skirmish. What is Iraq on? I mean, they're a subject either way for us, even if they lose a bunch of states, so that's something. Oh, we're on 0 infamy as well. What can we do? I think one of these guys is our vassal. We're only going to choose that if it would have been 100% anyway. Which it would not have. We could go for Kuwait. We could go for Kuwait. Classic Saddam vibes. Are gold mines better government owned or privately owned? Everything's better privately owned, with the exception of military goods. They give minting either way. China usually gets a bunch of ghost barracks on formation. I see. What is Rumelia? Is this vanilla? These countries look really weird. This is not vanilla. This is Divergences. This is not vanilla. Also very weird to me is no Tejas. No Tejas. I'm trying to think how we win this war. I think we kind of low-key don't. Maybe we do. Let's put that as the objective here. I mean, we're advancing on the capital here. We could make one more landing before everyone's involved. Before Moose gets taken, we land it. We are slowly defending this. Pushing back too. I think we have the superior technology, so even if the advantage is more, yeah, we do. Even if the advantages are more on their side, numbers are a huge driver of advantage. And as we churn through troops, you see this kind of turning in our favor a little bit here. Mexico do be belligerent sometimes. Where is Rumelia, though? I don't think we have any explosives production. So we're gonna look where we have sulfur. Kind of everywhere. And then I think we wanted to push in the direction of civilizing mission. I think we'll go for dialectics here, though. We do have some universities in the queue. I think we're coming up on our like 31 university or 20 university or level 20. So that'll be good for us. It looks like we are now successfully defending and pushing them out. So we will get this as our subject for Freezy's good dealsies, and so I think we want to think about a war. We do want to reduce autonomy on someone. Crucial state's really not going to be giving us a lot of money. New Toledo. We kind of want to reduce autonomy on them so we get access to some of these other countries. That's a lot of infamy. It's not what we're looking for. Also a lot. We don't want to go over 25 because that also similarly gives us a negative event. You get a little foothold here. Why do we have so many undeclared interests? We prefer Anatolia here. I think eventually we might want to fight Burgundy, so we're gonna align ourselves with every other GP that's not them, which I think there's like 3 or 4. There's a little bit more. Aragon, Albion, Spain, Scandi, dual monarchy. Burgundy's still kind of top dog for now. No Grand Columbia, sad. No. Just Granada. So it looks like we're marching on Baghdad here. But we have all the war goals anyways. We maybe shouldn't have done that. We have a lot of chance, past chance, but getting the setbacks maybe not worth it. Maybe a bit of a misplay there. Looks like we're going to enforce pretty handedly, so they will return a bunch of stuff from these guys. And then become our tributary. We still have this, I suppose. We could reduce autonomy on those guys straight away if we wanted. We do finish the Boom Boom building. So let's come in. I think that will be able to supply all of these. Not immediately, but eventually. These should come on up. The ratio might be off, it might not be enough. It's always awkward when you're playing a country that's small enough that regional industry is a bit of a vibe. Or sorry, you don't have like a large enough economy to play with the numbers. How's Burgundy number 1? Dual monarchy has very significant issues at game start. I think they have a lot of radicalism. They haven't broken up yet, which is a bit of a vibe. But they often break up. Burgundy is probably the strongest start. They also have a better tech bracket. I think we're getting a bankroll from someone, I forget who. They do have the iron there. Where is it that has this 84? Alright, let's look domestic. What is this about? Matopari. Guess that's not our business. Is Spain targeting just straight up us? Well, this is good for us, maybe. Oh, we would love that treaty port. We'll put that in as our primary war goal. Now we have some infamy. That should be pretty easy for us to take. Now do they have just random stuff? Oh, maybe we should have gone for this? But I do think they have, well, Burgundy being belligerent is a little bit concerning. I think we're going to try and get Scandi on our side here, though. Surely, do you... This looks like... Oh wait, we're pushing them. We don't want to give you an obligation. We want to try and sway for something else. Like, call ally. You owe it to us, my guy. We're gonna put an interest in Iberia. And I think we bring these guys back. Get ready to defend against the landing. I think we're gonna create also specifically just a landing squad. But we're gonna test out a new kind of idea, which is that, okay, we can't, formation settings. Don't allow them to borrow. That way we have a little bit of a squad just for pure defense, that cannot get bricked, by borrowing reasons. I think that for supplements, we just want them to be able to stall, so we'll just put this as their thing. Somehow we're not really making progress here. Where the Oh, those are all getting lived out of the same thing, yeah. I was very confused for a half second. Oh, hey, though. Spanish Lindy. Do we have enough time to get an interest there? We have an interest there. This should have been our primary goal. 11 infamy? Kind of a lot. We can liberate Castile, that's huge. Unis, we're building up to 20 right now. Attempting to liberate Zanzibar, though. I think we know we can enforce this stuff. Is this incorporated for you? No, it's not. I don't know if we can land Spain. I don't think we can. I think that Scandi might be able to. But we won't add any war goals that we cannot enforce ourselves here. I don't know of any place that Spain has that's incorporated. Oh. Well, then we could go for war reparations here as well. I believe if we enforce 4 war goals on them, they actually, we will get recognition. I think for revoke claim, for ban slavery, I can't remember if we need to take their capital. I know they've changed some of these things. If this is incorporated, I mean, it's possible we could liberate Morocco. We could also just conquer whatever is the lowest infamy for us. We could conquer Yemen. We could also just say that this is fine. Yeah, let's just say that this is fine. Send you back home with the defensive squad. I think we'll move you guys over here, so that doesn't... Well, no, this is all... I think this is all the same strategic region. Let's change the appearance of this guy, though. We want to know kind of what they are. Give him that light blue look. I think that we will park our navies at home. Except the Indo army, we will send to take the primary war goal. Actually, I guess these guys will send to take this war goal. So we can begin enforcing on them as quickly as possible. We could do this. Nice. It's honorable. I think we do have some guy who is cautious for when we start wars, which we're not doing right now. I don't think we want to go on to Universal at this point quite yet. Let's get on to restricted child labor. So here we have 2 landings coming in, and the main idea behind having multiple people to defend, or at least this 5-stack squad, is that they will not instantly be able to land if all the rest of our, 60 whatever defenders are occupied in a single battle. Who's winning the Americas? Looks like Acadian is kind of doing alright here. Or is this the Americas? It's kind of the current status of things. Let's pillage. Now let's defend. Look to buy time for us to do landings. There's the primary war goal. This is to try and brick them off the front. Hopefully they don't park a navy out here. They have a 134 stack looking to land with a 69 stack. I don't think that makes any progress into here, but especially with us on skirmish, I don't think that works. Both are the Americas. We'll have this army land here. And we do break them off. Let's try doing some of that. Some of that. Just kind of being a menace here with the landings. They do have the superior force, but it doesn't matter. And this, the fact that they can't cover both fronts is gonna be too much for them. Our battles are gonna take time, theirs are not. I guess they win one, but it's not gonna matter because we just re-land here. And we get to enforce relatively easy. This will give us a ton of progress for earning recognition. And there we go, we're fully successful here. See what we can do in terms of colonization. Nice. We get an ingress here. But they have 2 landings going on, right? So, let's mobilize this guy. And illustrate, if all of our guys get caught up in this one battle, which you can see we're defending with 61k. What can end up happening is the second battle can progress very, very quickly. And this wasn't the case in 1.5 when they initially enacted this, because when they initially changed the Navy, because what they did really kind of bricked multi-landings, but whatever they've changed now allows it to progress much more quickly if you're unopposed. And so if you can, multi-landings are kind of back on the table, but what you can do is with squads like this, where you will not allow the borrowing and lending of troops, this squad will never get involved when this squad is fighting. So in these big fights, which will pull the big squad first, it won't do that. But instead, they serve as a buffer where if both of these units get called into a single battle, which they can, they will prevent us from just getting insta-landed. Are you planning on working dual monarchy eventually? You need to kick Sweden out of Tasmania, maybe? I think that's probably good long-term. Right now, Scandy's kind of allied with us, and is kind of helping us. This is not what we wanted. Bro, we're just trying to vibe, man. This is kind of not very good for us here. But it looks like we could sway both dual monarchy and Scandi. We'll have to think about what we want. Probably this, but we might want to take this. Oh, they're not involved. Are they involved already? Okay, so I think Yamachi is what we want to go for. It costs us 9.5 infamy. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna be a little bit cool at this game and have a gamer moment. We're gonna slot in our cautious guy. That's not, yeah, okay, that's Imperious, not something else. And now, with him as the ruler of our country, this will cost less infamy, and we'll have it as our primary. And this will, these two wars, between these two wars, will also get recognition here. See, it went from being 10 to being 7. I don't think this is incorporated. I very much doubt it. It is incorporated, so this means we could get war reparations off of Burgundy as well. But also, this squad's going to be useful for defending against naval landings. I wish we could just replicate this squad, but it's not too much effort to just create another. Actually, let's make a proper defensive squad. Where we will allow landing, or we will allow borrowing with this guy. Oh, what ideology? It doesn't matter, he's unpopular. And we will also use some better PMs, and this will be a National Guard army. And so we will give it a different color code, because we are going to need to defend against landings, against these other guys as well. Legislative failures. No, we forgot to side. Yeah. We had a gamer moment followed by a not gamer moment. Alright, that'll get us what said back instead. Weird that it changes that instantly. But the idea was that we didn't have the right guys slotted in. I think we'll come up to 20 on this. Or sorry, 30, because our economies of scale just increased. Do some of that. Urban is what we're looking for. Don't have too much clothing. We will get them on the next PMs. We'll run a shortage of this for now. Not too big a deal. Why can we no longer sway Scandi? Alright. That should give them very serious... Sucks that Scandi won't help us at this point now. We could invite them to kill our alliance if we wanted. I wonder if we could enforce and then invite Scandi. we also want that as primary. So now we don't have enough maneuvers for Scandi anyways, which is fine. I think we'll take both of these guys and park them here. Don't want them to just randomly get clapped. So glad they fixed the issue where fleets would take 1,000 years to engage while supporting an engagement. Also made the naval battles so randomly and inclusively 90% of the time. Yeah, but whatever they changed also made multi-landings like work again. It seems. During world conquest of Germany, now you have Heavenly Kingdom as protectorate. How do I incentivize Han Pops to migrate to your states? Use the migration edict. They'll specifically migrate more to places with coasts and rivers, so I'm not sure if placing an edict is better on there or better on other areas. Not the leader swap. Are we on laissez-faire? No, but we should be. We're doing a little bit of testing and thinking through interventionism. It's specifically better for... We might be able to do this. No. Not yet. We kind of want all those to go through. Let's get this guy on this front. I think we're going to have a good chance of being able to push this out before they can do anything here. Alright. So let's land with our biggest regional squad there. And with the Indo army, let's try and land them from behind here. Hopefully they don't park navies in uncomfortable spots. Spain's just about done. After Spain's done, we'll commit this 57. Actually, we'll just commit the 57 stack now. The other guys can defend. They're not going to get in on the capital on us on like 1 or 2 ticks here. And this will allow us to maybe push. Nice. Trade agreement. Let's just go for civilizing mission. It unlocks a lot of stuff for us. As well as it reduces the infamy we spend on stuff. Cool for us. We now have a Chinese treaty port, which I don't think is active at this point. Why did we not get progress towards earning recognition? We did, in fact, enforce war goals on a great power. Did we not? Okay. You got us, I guess. Return Picardy is kind of the only one we can't really enforce. Unless Dual Monarchy can enforce it. Solo Bolo. Which I have my doubts. Let's look. Do we have unemployed anywhere? We do. Add a bunch more ports, help to try and solve this convoy problem. Or at least slow it down, rather. It's probably a better way of phrasing that. I think we'll just be a little bit cheeky and land Uluru here. With one of our landing squads. They're not putting in a naval landing on us, so I think we're kind of okay with this. Looks like they're actually getting pushed in Picardy. Wild, what a time to be alive. Chinese aristocratic revolt. China is having a bit of a problem. Alright, fair enough. So what do we need now? We just need Picardy. I think we're going to keep the main army back here. We'll send this army over to help, which it's not going to be that helpful, to be fair. I'll have you stay here. I thought it said Occitania HQ, not Oceania HQ. But we have most of the Morghuls ticking down here. Yeah, we're kind of okay with them kind of going out and about over here. We'll put the strategic objective here as Picardy. Because that's all we need. I think we'll also add some to our fleet here. Where do we have the most peasants? Do some of that action. Get up to 50 boats. That is poor timing. Modern's recognition port, baby. Did you see that? Did you see that I confirmed I would not be there on time? Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I did not see that. It's 1926 and your USA casual has over 50k army power and projection. I know it's mostly conscripts, but I've never seen the AI crank up that hard before. The AI is just super binary when it does conscripts. It either does like none or all. So that doesn't surprise me. Definitely not ideal, but also makes some sense. We'll protect our boats. I think once we're done with this, we're gonna want something like that. Let's finish the boats we have a lot of progress on first, though. Are we slowly getting pushed out? We might be. Well, so here's the thing. If dual monarchy leaves this play, we're also fine. We're gonna march away. We do have 3 armies defending now, but they're relatively small, so I don't know if they could defend against a big landing, but I think that they're a little bit concerned on their end. This would block a slot, which I don't know if I think is bad or good. I don't think we need multiculturalism in the near future. Not sure what he'll agitate for. Let's let him come. Not sure if this is the correct decision, but... I think we're also going to come in here and just bring this up quite a bit at the end of the queue, with the idea that we do want to increase our institutions. You're using a mod that converts all pops into state religion, therefore increasing performance. Now Han Chinese are not discriminated and so job satisfaction 0. It's also stupid that they have job satisfaction 0 if they're unemployed and starving. I mean, you need cultural communities. They won't migrate without cultural communities either, so that I think that might be your problem. You haven't gotten the formation of a single cultural community, would be my guess. If you just recently took it. Let's see if we can get any more trade agreements. Can't with Dynam. I don't think that's exactly what we're looking for here. I think we do want to go for Kuwait. I think we're never going to be able to. Why can't we target you? Truce. Makes sense. They are already a subject. Why can't we just take the entire state? Everyone we look at's already been conquered or whatever. Perfect. I think we may be tributary them though, because they are recognized. They'll give more mandate generation. Just kidding. We want to go after them, but we have to give it time because we have truce from releasing them, which might make us a little too slow. Whoa, that's a lot of infamy, huh? My kingdom for a reasonable looking war. Alright, that's pretty reasonable looking. This is gonna be bad because once this pops, dual monarchy is not gonna be able to help out basically. I think they will just get capitulated out, though. If dual monarchies capitulated out, return Picardy. Won't be a war goal anymore, and then we'll start enforcing, so I guess we're just fine. As long as they don't land us, which we're kind of prepared for. And if they... yeah, we just have to keep an eye on things, which is kind of the situation we hate. We hate having to use our brain. The truth hurts. But it does look like actually we're pushing really fast here then, so. Oh, that just as soon as our 57 stack arrived, we got a pretty big advantage. Alright, they were cool. Late to the conquering party. Yep, yep, yep. Australia is Chinese in our timeline. Huh? It does make sense. Chinese Australia is best Australia. It's also worst Australia. It's the only Australia. Actually, there is Burgundy in Australia, just to be clear, actually. Which country has more flavor and divergences? I don't know, they could have all have a lot. Can you believe the mod's name? It's like, I think it's just divergences. Sometimes they migrate, but you can't establish understanding. Well, we haven't made a video on this, and we probably should, but you need to get a cultural community to form in order to get them to migrate. And if there's no cultural community, they won't migrate to a state. And the states they are migrating to have cultural communities. So, using the edict, the migration edict, makes it more likely for a cultural community to form. Having a lot of cultural communities already makes it less likely for a cultural community to form. So often, the place with the very highest migration attraction that you have initially will not be very good for getting the Chinese pops later, because they already have too many cultural communities. It's really hard for them to form a new one. The chair speaks the truth, it does. But, for example, like if we take a look, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, we have all these pops here. These are now the only pops that can migrate to our country, of which we do have Han cultural communities, so Han pops can come. If you do not have a Han cultural community in a state, you cannot pull Han pops over there. So, maybe a bad example, but even if you share a market, but it will help. Having a lot of migration attraction will help for. Actually, I don't know if that's one of the factors for forming a cultural community. There's several. Having a trade center helps. Being on a river helps. Having a cultural community already hurts. You recommend trying Gora UI. It improves the UI significantly. You can build railroads in states where there's not enough infrastructure, one click, and so on. Interesting. Hell no, dude. Hell nah. Especially as, like, this is going on. Come on, come off of it, dude. I know dual monarchy's losing that war, but shh. Shh. Dual monarchy understands the assignment. The assignment is that we only need to win a few battles in here. And we need to not lose battles, dual monarchy. Please stop. We're moving for free trade. I think we want free trade. I'm not sure we could make a legitimate government. But free trade is a really significant one. Because it changes the ownership of the trade centers. Currently, trade centers are owned by shopkeepers, and it changes to be more capitalist-oriented. See, shopkeeper-owned, capitalist-owned is what it will be. Yeah, that's not good. That's gonna hurt our progress. Hopefully, yeah, but we're offsetting it. We'd really prefer... making progress in a few spots. No, not like this. Let's see you on defend. All the guys on defend. Do some of that action. Continuing to build tall in the capital here. think I'm gonna take a look. Has our Autocube built more explosives factories? Really not a lot. We'll put these up for purchase. Balza, thank you for the follow. Big nice. Yeah, we're not gonna be okay with a white piece. Oh bro, did Occitania just get... Oh, Occitania just got full lib. Dual Monarchy said, nah. You can have it. So that's gonna be really good for us. On two fronts. One, Dual Monarchy is weaker. Occitania is maybe something we could go for. And, also, Dual Monarchy can, you know, divert their attention back to this. What really matters, winning our war for us. Although, to be fair, it's for their war goal, so maybe not that, close. This should still give us... This is supposed to give us, recognition progression, but... No, not Huang Wei. That option's always nice. Do we have enough to increase our institution? We do. Oh, we have another education potential, so we're gonna actually... We're gonna build a lot more of those into the queue. And that's Picardy, and that's the war. That's all she wrote. Minus 10 a tick. Welcome to the real world. We will have to wait another tick. Question is, what do we do now? The triple monarchy. Ah, someone needs to get bopped. Unfortunately... Unfortunately, we do not have moderation that is not our own, but we can ban people. Bopped. Free viewers. Eat my ass. Alright. You updated the wins and losses of the countries, but not the amount of times picked. Okay, I will update that. You are correct. I'll make a note of that actually, so I don't forget. So they just, yeah, the countries that won just have an insane high win rate. New mandate available. We could go colonial offices. Actually, we have to start increasing colonial offices. We didn't do that for nothing. Wow, 13 years? We needed to remove their... whatever. Looks like someone lost their claim. I think we will incorporate this straight away, though. we are colonizing it immediately. I think we'll seize this. And seize this. And then also put it up for sale. I have to actually make super sure that the amount of money they pay is the same as the amount you pay when you nationalize a building. I'm not sure. Wow. Best viewers. Burgundy released their Australian lands. Yeah, that was one of our war goals on them. Recognition thing does appear to be broken. Like, categorically. Because we have a GDP in the top, or, well, let's check. SOL is not the same as GDP per capita, but I don't know why all these unrecognized countries are in there. I'm not sure if we have a high... I mean, I think we have a reasonably high GDP per capita given our SOL. I don't know if it's part of... we have to do events in the game, though. Like, this might be intentional, not like, you know... Not... So much infamy. To be fair, we could slot in this guy. Our cautious guy died. Rip the dream. Journal entry for recognition, or is it just dead for us? Well, part of the carpentry is part of the Burgundian colony of blank blank. It is controlled in large part by the VOC, while the company administrators to the north grow rich off the lucrative sandalwood trade. Little of the wealth makes it back to Burgundy. Etc., etc. So, okay, we could just annex all of it. Cool. So it might be the case that our recognition is tied to other stuff, or maybe we need civilizing mission now. You didn't need civilizing mission before to make this happen, but maybe this is part of the mod. A lot of pops there. Try to see if there's a way for us to gain access into here. Doesn't really look like it. All impassable terrain. Oh, what the hell? This is different. Yeah, the Sahara is not worth a lot now. Okay, well then we won't try and figure out a way to go for it. If someone is, has 100% acceptance, we will be willing to save scum it, but we will otherwise not save scum the annexation of these guys. Yonglu is kind of the ones we want to go for as well. Is anyone below 65? Well, yeah, these guys are. I think we're just going to reduce subject payments on these guys, because they are cramping our ability to do stuff. This guy's only at 46. We'll improve relations. Try and make things work out a little bit better. Oh wow, very little pop here. We can go after Longo. Looks like people are not too likely to side against us, but even if they do, what's Dahomey gonna do to us? Nothing. Looks like we get it anyways, so that solves our issue. We were hoping to colonize India here, but I guess not. We'll just incorporate this because it has basically no pop right now. And then... do we have to seize any buildings? We don't. Cool. Do want to make a new company. We are on generic. Has this always been 10% bureaucracy? Scandinavia needs good butt kicking. Not our ally. Oh, our GDP per capita sucks ass. Just kidding. We just have high SOL because we got cheap goods. Ugh. We definitely don't if it's less than $1. The truth hurts. We don't have high literacy either, although we are over 40, which I think is the threshold. But we've definitely enforced a bunch of war goals, so the fact that we've gained none is makes me think it's bugged. Well, okay, we could make wood right now, but I actually kind of am into the paper thing. Yeah, this is why we have high SOL here. We're getting +2. We would otherwise have 9.2. Yeah, that tracks. Okay. Is there any rationale to incorporate colonized provinces in Africa? Mappy is a pretty big reason to incorporate anything. Yeah, you would lose some of the raw resources from exploitation, but I think we're on resettlement anyways. I mean, wood's really great and all, but, like, we also... I don't know how much wood potentials we have remaining. So how much are we going to benefit from the construction, really? We also don't hate exporting paper. Paper also has really good... it stimulates demand for sulfur, which is really, really efficient. We're being stupid. We should just build an iron thing and... Wait, why can't we do an iron company? Oh, it's got the old requirements, bro. It has to be at least 10. Right? That's what the problem is here. It's the old requirements. Equal to 10. Yeah. To be fair, we have enough iron potentials that this is probably fine. Yeah. So once that finishes, we'll slot in an iron company. The Longo has some problems with what we just did. I do be like that sometimes. Are we still getting a bankroll? No, we're not. We're just really getting a lot of war reps. We have to keep in mind those are going to go away. That's why you should get resettlement rather than exploitation. I mean exploitation rather than resettlement. We were talking about where we want resettlement just because we want our pops to move out of kind of home territories. There's some argument for going exploitation and getting more resources, in particular with the rubber. Rubber gets really, really expensive in the late game. It might be that the case that in regards to Africa, for like a fully optimized run, if there's a lot of rubber there, you just go exploitation in the late game on the first level. We definitely want to max out our colonial institution right now, though. Let's do this as well. This should be able to bring... I mean, our literacy is really good, but other than that... What causes retreats? We didn't have a war goal enforced on us. We just have to increase our level of... We just have to construct a lot, I guess. I had a few of those. They're towards the back of the queue, so it's not going to be too big a deal. Now we should be able to put in an iron company, and then we'll try and start exporting iron. To be fair, a steel company would have also been reasonable. We could probably import other stuff from China because we do have a treaty port with them. We want also China to get more unemployment, so if we raise the price of some of these goods here, even if this isn't necessarily profitable immediately, maybe this is also just a bit silly, but if they have more expensive agricultural goods, they're more likely to build those goods, and if they build those goods, they're more likely to cause unemployment, and this unemployment's more likely to cause mass migrations. We accept Chinese pops, so... We unfortunately are relatively agrarian, so it's not like we can run a ton of these routes. We could try and arbitrage them. Also try and get rid of a lot of these that are no longer profitable. Let's take a look at our market to maybe get an idea of what we can do. Don't have much coal, but I don't think we've turned on the coal PM yet. This. Let's turn it on here too. We're looking where we have iron specifically. Let's do that. Some of that. Where are you? Alright, fair. Looks like Scandinavia is going to cut us off here. So we're going to have an ingress here. And we can annex these guys in time. We'll have an ingress there. I think we're going to improve relations. Let's see if we can use our block power to make anyone convert. I think we should be... Oh, we shouldn't be able to because we don't have enough cohesion. Part of why we don't have cohesion is because we, I think, aren't getting people to convert. Good old catch-22. We would love to generate more mandate. We could get the monks more powerful to try and do this. Also considered a weak block. Come on, man. Let's do some of that. Always nice. Add a little bit more construction here. New Toledo's not really budging, and they're kind of the holdout here. We need more of this in our market anyways. But one problem is we just can't clear the... Yeah. We're having trouble clearing the thing. This guy's a reformer. I don't think we need to make him... I think we get free trade without... needing to give him grifter. We are currently not getting a bankroll, so we're actually just going to reduce taxes a little bit and get into a higher bracket here, which should help with the turmoil a little bit. We do have probably happy... Oh, we could make the Mahayana monks happier somehow. To be fair, they should be rising in SOL after we did that, so that should make them happy. A lot of our bureaucracy is finishing. Without resettlement and exploitations, unincorporated pobs in Africa very likely to migrate to your homeland. Therefore, there isn't much workforce for rubber. Yeah. This is like the other side of the problem. You'd prefer that they stay, but maybe you discriminate against them intentionally. So is it not better to make grain price lower if you have China in your market? I intentionally build a lot of agriculture over there, but it seems to have been a mistake. Well, if you're on laissez-faire, I think building other countries in general is kind of a mistake. We're gonna do this. Unfortunately, it seems like if you build the first level, the AI is really idiot mode about upgrading their PMs. Which sucks. If you expand on the levels, they're not as idiot mode. Here we build that. We also are benefiting a lot from mass migration. Getting Chinese mass migration. A lot of these guys have open borders, or China, I think, has open borders. Or they have migration controls, so non-discriminated pops can leave. Of which we accept a bunch of them, so... We want them to be stronger so that we can maybe get up to above 40 here. Burgundy, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? What is the fuck? Wait, what? Oh, it's just targeting Luongo. Oh, poor Luongo. They lose the state to us and then they... Got it. I thought they were taking our thing. Which, to be fair, they couldn't start that anyways. Yeah. We have a truce. Still, we should be upgrading our military a little bit anyway, so... Let's maybe get a landing squad going here. Just want these guys to be as fast as possible, basically. Villager's fine. Still gonna want to use rapid advance, but... Republican, I mean, we'd rather have this guy become a thing. I mean, there's some circumstances where we'll want to pillage. Where are you from? What is your story? Congo. I think we'll merge this with the Shadow Army, just kind of our Africa army. Kind of don't want to delete guys because it makes them more upset. No bread, no freedom, that's true. If you have a big investment pool, your financial sectors will privatize buildings in other countries very fast. Yeah, if you already have a big one built up. The problem is that AI tends to have a big one built up, and if you're playing properly, you will not until very late in the game. Burgundy's kind of the only colonial menace in this game, so yeah, they do be bordering us everywhere. Not here no more, though. Not here no mo. These guys belligerent towards us, too. Hopefully we're above 50. Well, we're barely above 50 now. We really would prefer a monk situation that is not like this, exactly. This seemed like it's against us. What is this? New Toledo versus Old Toledo. We'll just send this to deal with that. I think that'll be fine. Corn laws get completed. End of the corn laws. Let the grain trade begin. Get some trade route competitiveness here. Oh, and to be fair, we weren't super microing as hard as we should have been on kind of our trade stuff. So let's check again and see what... Okay, we didn't have import privatization on because we just were playing poorly. Got it. Well, now we can start trading a whole bunch. We're going to put in trade routes that do not require our convoys. We have a good chunk of convoys, but I think we still want to play it like this. Scandi. We're going to import from them anyway, even though it's not profitable. I recognize it's not profitable. I too have eyes, los ojos. But if it's close, and it's agrarian, we want to peel it off of China. We can import wood. Interesting. So that means we're probably underproducing it. Now we have, as far as companies go, we have a lead company and an iron company. I don't think we're going to be able to export that productively. We also need to export our luxuries because we have really expensive basic clothing. So specifically luxury clothes we extra want to export. Usually you can't export steel. It's kind of a weird one. I can't imagine this stays profitable for long. But okay. We'll bite. Our first railroad's coming in. We're adding a whole bunch more construction, even though we're currently running a deficit, because we just have built up a very large balance there. Oh my god, we have 0 infamy again. Jesus. What can man do against such reckless 0 infamy? We don't want to mix it up with the dual monarchy. Who's guaranteeing independence here? This would be kind of a hot tributary. We could have interfered in Bangladesh before, but the problem is we didn't think that we would actually win the war. I kind of don't think we'd win the war still. New Toledo's trending down. Once they get below this, we would kind of love to go after Iraq. We could go after Syria now. Specifically, we want Baghdad. If I recall correctly, what is there? Maybe with this. Which will help to make our religious group more powerful as well. So we want to reduce autonomy on them. How quickly is this going down? Pretty quick. So we'll just wait. In theory, we shouldn't just wait. I don't know why this only lets us take a treaty port from them and doesn't let us conquer them. Holy shit. That sucks. We're never gonna unborder gore that, except for 7 infamy. I guess eventually we'll have a lot of infamy reduction stacked. Speaking of stacking infamy reduction, we're currently sitting on that guy being in charge. Is this guy cautious? No. Is he cautious? No. Do we have a lot of generals? We can get generals and admirals who are Intelligentsia, looking for guys who are cautious. We don't have anyone who's popular even, so no one would interfere. If we wanted to exile one to get a cautious guy, which would make getting multiculturalism harder, but we kind of don't care about multiculturalism right now. TBH. We can give these guys a good purging. I think we have a decent amount of generals and admirals that are landowner. I guess we only have 3. I don't think that ticks them below 0, so we would just be eating the malice from them. Could also try and get a cautious one of these guys. Devout. Of which this is our only guy who's popular. He's a Democrat. He is our politician though. So obviously he can't replace himself. Theocrat's unpopular. Don't like theocrats in general. I think we might actually like theocrat now. They oppose weakly that, but I think they endorse state religion, so it's net neutral. Because I think we're on state religion. We might not be. We are. So net neutral, not terrible. 3.6 for on-Kent. Don't care about religious schools. Gotta love that open mic. Something wrong with the mic? You can go for Zanzibar if the truce is over. That's true. I think we wanna peek under the hood a little bit to see if we can get what we want. We also don't hate the Democrats here. They could roll Democrats because they're not in power currently. Reformer's kind of fine as well. Traditionalist is not popular, so unlikely to be the one. You're not him. Not him. We do kind of want these guys generally to be more powerful. We don't want to promote up guys who are popular too much. We're going to promote this guy twice, just twice, with the idea that it's going to increase the clout of the trade unions, but we could fire him if we have to, if he becomes popular, because we don't really like his ideology that much. Nihilist is kind of bad for us, actually. Luckily, we have a lot of popular military generals here. I think that because we have a lot of popular guys, we'll just recruit him and we'll probably be fine. A lot of nihilists, a lot of reactionary politics here. We'll, don't want to fire that guy. Because right now we're hanging on by a thread of like trying to get these guys happier, just a little bit happier, up to +10. To be honest, maybe we're supposed to Anti-Polish League. Okay. I think we gotta make this Anti-Polish League happy. Why can't we improve relations above? Oh, because they're a bloc leader. Yeah, that's not doing too much for us. Let's start damaging Polish relations. Right? Will that make you guys happier? Freaking Scandinavia connected the dots here too. Rip. We could expel diplomats. Be a little bit wild. Kind of just want to conquer them, not take the diplo path. It's just way too expensive. Oh, it's just 9? Yeah, we could vibe with this. Alright. Oh, we didn't even check the military. I can't imagine. Yeah. They're protective. Tight, tight, tight. 1 extra max colonial affairs, and we will unlock a bunch of journal stuff. I think we'll go steel frame next. We are going a little bit ahead of time, but I think that's okay. Han mass migration. This is going to be really hard for us to actually pull up the GDP per capita. We're going to save? Because I don't know if this is going to establish a colonial country. What's the logic behind spine and commander IGs? Do you only get IGs that have the most clout? It's influenced by clout. You're also, you'll get disproportionately more armed forces than landowners, though. You really get way disproportionately more armed forces relative to their clout level. Will be transferred to a new colonial subject. Okay, so we don't want to do this. It's just called something else. Instead of colonial administration, it's for the other thing. But we can open the country. Which doesn't do anything? Alright, fair. Fair, fair, fair. Ooh, we can increase this. Which actually increases the monk's wages. Huh, you know what? We have a lot of government employees that are going to increase in SOL. Maybe this is actually how we kind of push up the monks SOL specifically. This PM is like disproportionately good because of how liquor gets so cheap. It's probably not cheap for us right now though. Break them up. We're gonna liberate the ones that sound like unrecognized ones. That'll be cheaper for us on the infamy. Poor huddled masses. We'll do this. Get rid of a consumption tax. I'm pretty sure this costs some of that juice. Wait, what? Okay, maybe it doesn't. They might back down. Backing down is probably fine for us. I think we actually want this war to go off, but that we can't. Like, we can make this primary. That makes it slightly less likely that they back down, but if they back down, that's also okay. Not too big a deal. I think we could try and land both sides. But I think Lotharingia doesn't really have an army. Oh, I guess they have one. We'll see if they defend coast. And then we'll activate our guys who will defend the capital. See what they do. Are you planning to make a video want the changes rankings after the first match? I'm not sure how much the rankings change. I don't think Prussia needs to pass the USA. I think players just need to play different. I think that, like for example, I don't think Qing needs to go down. I think people overvalue breaking up Qing and undervalue interfering with Prussia, which is like a skill problem rather than a balance problem. It's kind of my like impression. One of the things is it's really easy to beat up on Qing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's correct. Like, it's really easy to 6v3 them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's correct too. We need to see what strategic interest. Okay, so I think what we do is we've gotten caught here, right? They're gonna have a bigger army, or big enough army. We might have a slightly better army, but maybe we can land up here and they won't be able to get there in time, or they will just continue defending the home HQ. Looks like they're continuing to defend the home HQ, so we should be able to get in here. And then up here we're definitely getting in. It's just a matter of time. So it's just how long it takes us to enforce this. Is this close? It's not Bankroll would be nice. We could see if we could get that. No, there's no way. There's no way, right? Because I think that we could just get 34. And that's it. Unfortunate. And we're going to push them pretty quick here. Which is fantastic. I wonder how long it takes them to pull off the front. We don't really need this administration right now, so we're just gonna kick it to the back. Not sure we want to pass a law right now. So I mean, we could move off of onto national supremacy if we wanted to make the devout happy. But I think we have a trajectory towards making them happy. We have this time modifier that's going to go away, and once they're happy, then that should help us a lot in the loyalist radicals department. Their bonus is really strong for that, and they're also like really powerful. I think we do need above 50 cohesion to convert members. Oh, them not being in government, that's pretty significant a penalty, huh? Maybe we do this. We'd love to get a cautious boyo. One of these guys be cautious. I think we're gonna fire the guy who is... Yeah. Reformer, I think, has a lot of stuff we're into, and they would like cultural exclusion. So, I think we wouldn't mind him as the ruler of the RIG, or even our country. Ambitious is also a bit of a vibe. I think we'll just swap this over then, to make this guy our leader. That way we generate... cohesion? We're only up to 47 though, but we'll stay over the 40 mark. We won't just toggle up and down below and above it. That is a bit unfortunate. We wanted to push through them. Looks like we're gonna establish a front here though, and then land kind of near the capital, so. Hey Gene, how's it going? Just got brunch from the Cheesecake Factory. How are things? So I actually kind of dislike the Cheesecake Factory. And the Cheesecake Factory is like a bit of a vibe for me. But then I went to the Cheesecake Factory recently because a family friend wanted to have their birthday kind of meal there, and I had calamari at the Cheesecake Factory. It was so fucking good. Like, uncharacteristically good. But things are good. Do you live on a racetrack? We actually live in the middle of a racetrack, and so the cars will go around. You can hear them on both sides. Yep. Can we really not push this? Alright, we'll mobilize this guy. I don't think they land us, but... No. This guy's gonna come off the battle, I think. Right? Actually, let's do something like this. We already have a front here. If the front's not gonna be able to push on its own, then we're gonna do this. And we're just gonna make sure that they get going. And then now no one's on the front. So now we'll go and land. And now they have a conundrum. They have a stack of 4 defending. That cannot stop our squad. Excuse me. Excuse me. We're at actual 0 infamy. I would love to be able to... But where's the capital here, actually? Can we do something nasty to them? Is that their capital? So we could cut off... If we take this as the primary war goal to Briz, which is a fine enough state. It's like infinite infamy, okay. I guess we just go for war reparations. All this just costs so much infamy, but here, let's see actually. These guys are under 61 now, so we could actually reduce autonomy on someone. And have it be decent. They're a little bit less enthused about it. Wait, what's that? The balance has changed, so autonomy reduction costs infamy relative to vanilla. Cheesecake could be hit or miss, but from friends from out of town, so did a brunch with them. Yeah. I've been on vacation all week. Go back to work tomorrow at 8 a.m. Blah. Blah indeed. Blah indeed. Vacation from work. Yeah, I took your meaning. I think you had mentioned that earlier in the week when you dropped in on a Path of Exile stream. Cheesecake Factory is... I also find the sizing of like their complimentary birthday dessert, although this might vary from Cheesecake Factory to Cheesecake Factory, to be like, what is it, insultingly small. Like, you should just not give a dessert if it's literally going to be 50% whipped cream and chocolate syrup in your like sundae thing. But like, I think a problem I have with the Cheesecake Factory is they tend to be really big on the portions, but then like also it's just kind of like, it feels really overpriced for what you get generally speaking. I don't know, maybe you're just supposed to get like cheesecake. But then I also enjoyed my meal, which was like the pizza style chicken parmesan, which is just like chicken parmesan in pizza shape. Which was a little bit of a novelty. Also like big portion. But Cheesecake Factory, the like advantage is there's like they have every different thing on the menu, but the disadvantage is that like they don't make any of those things extremely well. It's kind of like my mom was there too, and she thought that the like in her meal she got like an omelet, and she thought that like the mushrooms tasted like they were canned or whatever. And like, if you're using canned mushrooms, I could make that at home, you know what I mean? Whoa, recognitions. I really wish we were recognized here. I also don't know how we're supposed to do it. I think it's just bugged out. Maybe playing on this mod's not very good right now. Oh, we're no longer allies with them. Rip the dream. Don't know when that happened. Domineering towards us? Come on, man. What the heel? We did want to reduce autonomy on those guys, these guys. This costs no autonomy. Am I just stupid and I clicked annex before when it was costing infamy and I'm just going crazy? Dismantle Empire. I don't remember that war goal. Okay. Maybe it's because the other guys weren't below the requisite liberty desired. That's fine. We're gonna reduce subject payments because I think we might want to annex them quicker. And also I think we don't want to exempt them from service because we want to be able to take Iraq. I think maybe we don't need to do this naval invasion here. And instead what we can do is we can send over these guys to stall. Delaying tactics indeed. We're just moving them in circles. Got it. We have a company for iron, so that should play pretty well for us. And we are currently researching steel, so... for steel frame buildings. So let's do some of that. We do have glass auto expanding where we have lead, but let's maybe add a bunch. And then let's come into the ledger. Building registry, rather. And we're gonna look just located in our country. We are gonna nationalize everything. Now, unfortunately, I think that some industries will get bought up, specifically the wood choppies, because we don't have much, or I guess we still have livestock to be purchased by the rural folk. But let's not do that. Put everything up for sale. Which will help us to drain the investment pool without them choosing what gets constructed. Yeah, big portions but subpar quality at Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, that's... yeah. I found a potentially useful strategy for 3v3, which is naval landing your ally in all coastal states, and mass toggling mobilization options do not have enough organization to ever happen. Navally landing your ally in coastal states, and mass toggling mobilization options. I'm not sure what you mean. Hey, Ultraweed, how's it going? Try rushing unification, and maybe then you'll get recognized. I'm thinking that's maybe what it is. We have to wait, we still have a truce with these guys for another 20 months. I think we're gonna go for Iraq in the meantime. Here, let's do this. This, considering they're fighting a 2-stack, I think one of them will be able to get in, at least. These guys should be able to speed bump them, I hope. Enough. I think it means you can sort of block the opportunity of your enemy to invade because only one invasion is possible at a time, and without org, your army will never actually invade. Oh, I catch it. Yep, yep. The problem is they could declare on you and brick your navy if you're not already in the war. That is interesting. No, you're right. Yeah, so they could declare on your ally, because they could still brick the navy if they can fight you, but if they can't fight you, that's a bit of a problem. Something you could do is you can, if they don't make sure that you have hyper-negative relations with the people you're playing against, you could actually join plays on their side, and there's nothing you can do. You can't prevent someone from joining a play on your side. Which, of course, will prevent them from declaring war on you, which is kind of a very interesting play pattern. Potentially. Right, we are pushing, but it is slow, and I do have concerns that we'll not be able to hold this. I think we'll... do some of that. Just try and bolster that up a little bit. I don't think we mind a 20 stack. I think we'll make another 5 stack as well. and give them the same mobilization options, which is not a lot, with the idea that they are mainly just a backup squad. For holding ground. You don't mind a defensive strategist. Kinda don't like the nihilist here. Love him. Nihilist is just gonna generally be kind of annoying. Landing does get in here, it looks like. Or horribly mistaken about something. Where's their capital? It's there. But as soon as we get someone in there, we should be in good shape. My boy's looking for white peace. Peace was never an option. But please let us take this state, though. Thank you. I think we might move this army over now. Because I think the other one's got it handled. Just kidding, apparently they don't. I think they do though, but also they don't. Is it possible to actually show what's going on in multiplayer streams in other countries? No, there's not. There's like no observer mode. It's like kind of rough. Like honestly, like, and I don't expect. I have to imagine that that's not something that's remotely high on their priority list, you know? I think we got those from events, I don't know. Or no, our colony's finished. That's so good for us. Intergroup approval on these guys will put us up over, so we get minus 100% radicals from standard of living decreases. We're gonna do that. We're gonna decrease some standard of living there. We have the capital now, so we should be in really good shape. Perfect. Let's see if these are unrecognized. Unrecognized. Their names looked unrecognized. They look like indigenous names. Not this one. This one looks like Belgian or whatever. Ah. Let me out of this map mode. Let me out. Stranger danger. If I use Spectator, but there are downsides to... I think even if I use Spectator, I can't really look that close. I could try using Spectator instead of Go Beer. I think the 30 stack just made it there. Crucial states. Will have the Middle East Army handle the Crucial states thing? It seems appropriate. We do have someone agitating for laissez-faire, but we would not want laissez-faire on... Well, we probably want it. It's probably better, but with the thing we're playing around with, it would put all these up for sale instead of having them government-owned. Really hate that the AI, like, is basically incapable. Of choosing good PMs if you are the first one to build the building. It might be the case that, I mean, the AI just like doesn't think of it as its own building, so it just, I think, is indifferent. How do you decide when you're going to build universities? Generally, it's kind of tied to how much construction you have, because construction's the opportunity cost for a university. So usually universities are not very worth it really early on, and then kind of around 150, 200 construction, I think it's worth building up to economies of scale, which is currently the amount of universities we have. Is the EOS of 30. We forgot to do that though, because we're shame on us. Although I think that yeah, we just have it up to EOS. I think we are capping our active research, but we would still want to overflow for more spread. That's fine. We're losing money right now, so we don't want to add unis, but adding more unis now would also make sense if we had more money. Are you changing your subjects' religions? We can't until we're over 50 cohesion, or it might be 60. Because the cohesion doesn't look good. Yeah, catch 22 on that one. I don't really understand what exactly drives this one. It's power block member that is the lowest population that's following the religion, so we don't want to have low population subjects. I guess the thing that it makes the least sense to me is, like, I don't understand the theminess logic behind it. So much infamy, bro. We're unrecognized, but come on, dude. It's so much. The frustrating thing is I don't know if recognition is just bugged, that we're just forever unrecognized, or if that's not the case. If we, like, unify this. Do we have another formable? No, we don't have another formable. We'll just have them occupy them at the start of the war. And we'll humiliate, war reparations, ban slavery, revoke claim. I think they'll be very likely to back down. Baku will designate as the strategic objective. Rest in peace, Baku. This Baku almost certainly does not have the 240 oil that our Baku has. You have a question you couldn't find anyway. How often can you invite an agitator to your country? What's the cooldown? I think it's 5 years. Is increased clergy oversight any good? Well, we want our clergy to have a lot of clout, so it's really good for increasing the clout of the clergy. Does Australia have good arable land in the mod? Yes, this is why we're playing Australia. We are not... I refuse to play vanilla Australia because of this. Lowest fraction of pops. I think it's bugged. It's not population, but percentage of population following your religion. I feel like we shouldn't be in that bad of straits. Oh, percentage of our population relative to our population size? I don't even... That's crazily worded. We have a decent chunk of steel here, so even though steel do be stalen, I think we'll make the swap of one of those, which will really manipulate prices. I think we're super okay with a white piece with these guys, so... I'm not even sure if we win this. We certainly don't win it in a timely fashion. And if we stand down our armies, we won't have to pay as much. And they can recover up and stuff. Relative to their pop. Okay, I understand. That's worded awfully, but a subject following our religion that has the lowest amount of... that has the lowest percentage of pops actually following the true faith. So for us, for Lusitania, the problem is Lusitania does not have a lot of... We've converted them, so maybe this is actually a disadvantage for converting them. We converted them, but now... they don't have enough Mahayana pops. Let's evangelize all that we can. UI is not very good for this evangelizing thing, at least in this menu. There's maybe a better menu. I think we were, as we were converting, turning on evangelization, though. Not here, though. Alright. Alright, we'll accept this. And then we will easy peasy be able to get on them. As long as it doesn't teleport our army somewhere. I'll play and no work. Eyo, we'll definitely fire him because he's a theocrat. So I guess we don't want to flop people to our religion at this point because it's going to slow this down. Pretty excited for Colonial Offices 3 though. Was this... I guess this doesn't care about percentage of our... Oh, we have block leaders with total separation or state atheism. I wish we could see which ones had it. Block members. Got it. I don't think there's a good way for us to be able to... I think we can't change tributaries anyways. So let's focus on what we can do. That just fails. These guys are on homesteading, bossing it up. Conscience, unfortunately, here. They have movement for free trade. We can get state religion on these guys. I guess we want to try and force them to do religious schools too, generally speaking. We weren't looking at that as closely. They would be willing to give us, I'm assuming, the isolated state, which would just be isolated for us. They would just have an uprising and we'd just lose it. Try increasing the sacred civics for the cohesion bonus for identity principle. Yeah, that does work. That plays. Any idea of playing the Ottomans? Or any advice? Definitely ignore the schooling version, the bonus from Tanzimat. Ignore the schooling Tanzimat entry. And also, you can fight Egypt twice for doing your Tanzimat. Tanzimat's a lot easier now. But yeah, it is bugged. Regarding recognition, I think that, or it's not giving it to us through that way. I don't know if it's, we just can't get recognition in this mod. If that's the case, I kind of don't recommend this mod right now. I like it in general. Although there's a couple things I don't like. They haven't updated the resources, which is kind of not as big a deal, but they also don't have companies that are unique, which for me, it's not that big a deal, but like, kind of a little bit of a big deal. Let's do something like that. we're just gonna auto-enforce. Once we get in. But I guess, yeah, in 32 months we'll just increase sacred civics. To be fair, we're like generating mandated at a decent clip anyways. Actually, we should have gone for the religious folk. Not used to this play pattern where we have to keep the religious guys in office. Not used to it at all. Is there a cautious devout guy that's just out and about? There is. Problem is we discriminate against them. Problem is we're going to discriminate against a lot of guys. Although I guess if we start converting our subjects' religions, our subjects will be able to spawn agitators that we can do something with. Hopefully all our guys didn't get shadow roamed. Okay, they're at the Oceania HQ, thank God. Because they were internal to someone else. Their mitts were in someone else's oven, as it were. I don't know if we could trib these guys or if we have to take all their states. For like some sort of journal entry thing. I hope we could trib them. And then reduce autonomy on them. Really a lot cheaper. So we're gonna try and do that. Oh, they have one battalion? Why did we... I suppose that tracks. So, the other guys won, but they wouldn't be more acceptable at government, so it doesn't make too big a difference. Other than we want to have these guys in for cohesion reasons. Whoa. Don't like that it's falling down further. What do we even get from Sacred Civics 2? Reduce Liberty Desire, which apparently is bugged in the UI, or the UI is bugged, but it does give minus 0.1. Which, to be fair, would help us out a lot for like what we're trying to do here. We are having trouble with New Toledo, specifically. But it only helps with same religion. I don't think we have imposed our religion on New Toledo. Because we need more cohesion. It has to be above 50%. Rip the dream, dude. Wait, these guys are not our religion, though. They're Catholic. I thought you said it was proportion that was not following our religion. How are they converting Mahayana, though? Are they oh, they are Mahayana. They just keep the Catholic... Okay. They don't get the bonus of their religion. Hi, I saw you on YouTube. I am there. I am he. I have a question about Central Europe by France. How to form Central Europe as France. You have to do the journal entry for expanding the borders, where you take Wallonia and the other states up there. You take out Belgium, and then you can accept the Belgian culture, and once you accept the Belgian culture, then with the Belgian culture, you're able to form Central Europe. +1 from literacy, -1 from GDP per capita, -1 for SOL. They can see -1. It ain't bugged. It's bugged because we've enforced like 8 war goals on GPs. GP pluses. Yeah, and since they don't follow your religion, all of them don't follow your religion. Yeah. Does that mean Jewish Japan's possible? You can't make the... Apparently, well, if vanilla works like this, you can't make the IG Jewish. It would stay either Shinto or I forget what it starts as. We shouldn't have built that because it's like stupid in other people's countries if you build the first level. Actually, we're not going to build the first level. We've already expanded out the whole fish. All the logging. Or did we expand out all the fish? We didn't. We just don't know how to use UI. The truth hurts. Thanks for the advice. I always keep in your streams in the background while I play. Thank you. And you're welcome. But the way we would do Jewish Japan is we would just get a mod that allows you to start as Jewish Japan. Because I want to play as a Jewish country. And in vanilla, you need to research pan-nationalism before you can release Israel. And you can do a mod for releasing Israel, but also half of chat would just be unreal if we were to play Jewish Japan, or I mean Jewish or just Israel, and then just start conquering the Middle East, which is what we would do. People would have a problem with that. Some people would, and then people would have a problem with people having a problem with it, and you could see where that would go. And I'm not trying to like have some super like edgy, controversial like thing, or make a particular commentary on, you know, the state of affairs in the world on that, because I think it's complicated, and I think everyone thinks that it's, no matter, like, what your perspective is, thinks it's, like, way more simple than I think it is. Jingoist. Sure. What's this? Oh, you're worried? Did somebody brick the alliance, and now they're worried? That's cute. So we have these guys under our control. Monks, they are part of Monks with, I forgot that was the name of our power block, Monks Without Borders. But I guess we still need to eject Scandinavia. Oh, they have gotten their mandate real quick. Say I just really love militarized industry. Literally the entire all the AI is just going militarized industry. That's kind of wild. It's really one of the worst ones. I think we're gonna go maybe another 25 minutes, and then have a little bit of a save. I'm really kind of frustrated by this, that we can't get recognition apparently. There's like no journal entry for the formation of like some sort of grander Joru Rao. And we can only use this once. I don't see any potential journal entries in here. I think we're just kind of actually done with the flavor. Unless we just try and annex everything and like actually kick everyone out. But that's gonna take forever. And being unrecognized blows. we'll just have to conquer this, like, 17 infamy. And then this will be a huge chunk of infamy, too. 18 infamy. Journalist thinks it's complicated. Shake my head. The solution is obvious. Give it to Great Britain to make the so the real world could be more realistic, basically. Return it to Great Britain. I propose returning it to the marsupials that are extinct, that once roamed this earth. That is my proposition. Yeah, just give up. It's not fun when you can't do anything. I mean, we could do... Yeah, we could do the things, but it just takes so much infamy, and it's just going to be so much waiting around. Which I suppose is kind of fine. I mean, we are spreading our religion. Monks Without Borders does, in fact, have no borders, but... it's also really hard to just pull people into our block kind of the natural way. It's basically impossible. We're getting so many mass migrations. I mean, that part's kind of neat. You know, from China, we, like, don't have to worry about pops, like, at all. And in fact, it's possible we should have gone, instead of construction, we maybe should have gone the first level of the migration instead. But pops are, like, super not a problem, so... Yeah, those guys aren't gonna help us out. I mean, maybe that's all we need is that. Maybe all we need is to reduce autonomy on this guy, and some journal entry will spawn. I don't like that the journal entry is not visible, if that's what it is, but I think that this is just bugged, right? Because it shows that there's ways for us to generate progress, but they don't work. Or the normal progress bar might work, but the thing that doesn't work is enforcing a war goal on a great power or major power. GGG really fleshed out settlers mechanic in the hotfix. I know, right? Soon we'll jump back in the maps, but for now we'll say in King's Mark. But you can never escape the weak power block or the interest rate. Yeah, we do have to stop paying so much. You escape it by just deleting down construction. That's actually kind of what we have to do. That's how you fix the budget. And then we'll, as the budget starts to look better, we'll be able to do other stuff too. So now we're making money again. But then we'll be able to switch on to steel frame, and then because we got rid of a ton of those, we should be able to do some of this to make sure our industries stay profitable. Let's see if we can export fish. I don't think we will be able to. Yeah, we can't. I really like this mod, but I just think it's, like, actually just kind of not updated for 1.7. I mean, it's playable in 1.7, but, like... I suppose in multiplayer this is, like, less of a vibe, but... I imagine they took it out so that you couldn't... It's probably intentional, they just didn't update the tooltip. They probably think that you shouldn't be able to do it by winning a war. Because the multiplayer, from a theminess perspective of the multiplayer community, which is this is a multiplayer-oriented mob, being able to instantly become recognized is maybe something they don't want. You could just enforce a bunch of nonsense war goals on someone. For recognition. We are going to try and be pretty aggressive about turning up to steel frame, though. As long as we're making money. We just want to be making like a slight bit of money to start getting out from the debt because we're unrecognized, but... Where's here? Jiangzhou. Steam Donkey's not spreading to us. Maybe we go for vulcanization. Yeah, probably. Interest is paid to your own pops and not the international community. What's the justification for lower powers having higher interest rates? I don't know. You could say it would be technological, but to be fair, your currency is less stable. So the thing is a lot of people's currency was like kind of around the pound, but this mechanic should work otherwise as well, where like your proportion of your GDP or something of the world's GDP, the larger proportion you have of it, the better an interest rate you get. This would probably be a better way of doing it rather than recognized versus unrecognized. I highly doubt it's intentional. I asked about a thing I thought was intentional at 1.7, which abdication doesn't pass laws or give loyalists, and they said it was a bug. Yeah. I guess it's just buggy right now. That's super bummy if it is. I wonder what our relative prestige... Yeah, we're third in relative global prestige. Second in GDP. That is a bit of a bummer. I wonder if I should leave the stream running and then swap to Path of Exile. We do want to play some Path of Exile. I mean, maybe it's fine playing unrecognized. The infamy differential is just like, to me, like kind of painful right now. Maybe it's not a big deal. Oh, we definitely don't want to be doing that anymore. Why can we not rival you? I got you to try Path of Exile. You got level 3 and died. Hey, were you on hardcore? Did they send you back to the beach? Hey. Hardcore is definitely a different vibe. We can't rival these big guys. To be fair, it's like, in some ways it like gives you some advantages that are maybe interesting. Like we can get more bankrolls than we should otherwise be able to. But we're eligible for more bankroll. I think we're eligible for any major power to bankroll us. It'll be harder for us to get a bunch of native interests around the world, though. We already have a pretty good chunk of interests. GDP is really cranking up here, though. Was this Japan? Please no. Stop. Maybe we should have gotten the next level of Sacred Civics earlier. Probably not, but... Oh, we kind of want to get Colonial Offices 3 anyways here. Yeah, cool. You didn't even have to do anything about that guy. I kind of like how the agriculture does downgrade when it's privately owned, which I think is actually fantastic. I think we do have better PMs on a couple things. Let's just quickly go through everything. Often, like, if I'm in the middle of saying something and a tech pops up, I don't, like, stop what I'm saying just to swap the tech. Which isn't how thinking works, but it's how my thinking works. Like, in theory, we can multitask, but, like, in practice. Theory is practice in theory, but not in practice, you know what I mean? Wow, we have 50. Investigate dialectical materialism. No, no, not like this. The dialectic. Thesis, synthesis, antithesis. Not hardcore, but I have a rule: if I die, I stop playing for the day. Godspeed, my friend. The learning curve of Poe is a little bit rough, I think. I'm also not, like, especially good at it. We'll put that up for privatization. It is wildly profitable, so we'll see what the industries want to do on it. I think we'll also put it on auto-expand. Burgundians have started to play on us. Not like this. We demand recognition from them. We can't. God, is this what it was like to be a country in the 1800s? This is terrible. Alright, what do they even want? They want a lot. How much infamy do they have to pay? Not a whole lot, because we're unrecognized, so it's on the cheap for them. It looks like we can't sway anyone. So this would be a 1v1. Looks like we have a way bigger navy than them, though. They only have a 30 stack for their navy. The GPs are much less spooky in this game when you're not a GP. They're severely, like, they're a lot weaker. 51 gold mines? Where you got that from? Where you get that? Oh my god, it's like the Shane Gillis joke where he's talking about his uncle who has Down syndrome that just pulls out a grilled cheese. Except instead of pulling out a grilled cheese, it's us with pulling out 51 gold mines. Where you get that. The truth is, some of them are in our subjects. So like Lima, we don't actually own Lima. We have some ownership there, which is why it's showing up in our ledger. They're being a little bit stupid about the PMs, huh? Because they will just refuse to turn on atmospheric engine. It's such a stupid. They have the technology, they just won't turn on atmospheric engine pump. It drives me like absolutely crazy. Just way more profitable. The stuff's like in the market. They still won't do it. But a lot of these are in foreign countries that are just our subjects. I died while reading some Runestone and didn't notice the monitors attacking me. Not a learning curve issue. It's definitely a learning curve issue. Still. You like, learning like what quality of life things you can do is like part of it too, I think. I think it is. Thoughts on the updated Indian Territory or Luxembourg guide with the 1.7 subject mechanics? Thoughts on me doing it? It's too soon after Krakow to do that. I have other projects I want to work on. I think Indian Territory is probably a lot easier though than it was in previous patches. It was a lot easier a little while ago while it was the USA would give you all the territory you wanted. As long as there were like indigenous Americans there. Sorry, indigenous peoples. Where you get that grilled cheese, Danny. Except where you get those gold mines. A lot of them are in our subjects. There's also a lot of gold mines in Australia in this mod too. In fact, we could show exactly how many. Let's do the registry. Let's do none gold mines. We have 29 gold mines in our country, and here's where they are. Which all the names are different because Australia is a bit of a different vibe. He's making them at night. He's making those gold mines. Where you get those gold mines, Danny? Just making them at night. Tumu would be nice for us to pick up, so maybe we make that as our primary war goal. That way we don't have to compete with them there. So much infamy for that, though. I don't think they're going to have anything incorporated that we can really go for here very easily. The Indian Territory achievement was very easy for me, but that's because I played at 1.7.1 before the AI built military patch. Oh, yeah. Before the Thunderdome patch. Definitely an easy situation. They have their... Wait, what? Duchy of the Rhine. Is that this? Netherlands is a subject, but the India company is not in here. We were looking to release stuff from the India company, but if they're not in the war, do they get their autonomy raised? Yikes. They don't have claims on our stuff, they're just going after our stuff because they have like some stupid journal entry for it. I think we just mobilize our defensive guys and just sit tight. And then have this guy just push this one spot. Just push the button. Once we get New Toledo under a little bit more, maybe we want to actually build a New Toledo a little bit more, actually. Actually. Let's see how many times we can say actually, but the reason being We want to own a bigger share of their GDP. Wood's pretty good. We'll just build a smattering of it over there. What nations are you considering for your next playthrough? Next is going to be Spain and Finland. Finland won a poll, and I want to do Spain because I want to do kind of a beginner playthrough series a little bit, and I think Spain's probably the best option for doing that. Or that's the country I would most recommend to beginners. Because they're, unlike the GP, none of the GPs are super vanilla. They all have like kind of their own intricacies and things going on. Spain is super vanilla. There's nothing like special about Spain. And it's the strongest country that there's nothing special about. Like, France is really strong, but you're going to rev a ton. Like, the UK's just kind of got a lot going on. But the UK, I guess, is kind of beginner-friendly. Russia's a little bit beginner-friendly, but it's hard to pass laws. They're a little bit slow-moving and, like, don't necessarily feel the most rewarding. So, is this incorporated? No, it's not. So we did perfect, just asking for just that. So we'll be able to enforce just, like, immediately on these guys. Right? There's no sense in... I mean, we could go for these guys. Actually, we have a way bigger navy. What are we saying? We could definitely lid these guys. Oh, hey, hey, hey. No, no, no. I'm not transferring you shit. It'd be kind of nice to have our defensive guys actually just, like, dedicated to defending here. Where you get that gold, Danny. I'm thinking if we want to put these wargles in, so it's harder to enforce, but I think it's gives us more long-term kind of expansion options. Kanto? Bruh. This is incorporated from Netherish. Oh my god. Not Netherish. It just should be Dutch, right? Revving is not a problem now that you can just abdicate. Right, but that's not a straightforward play pattern for a beginner. It makes it near impossible to rev before 1.7. I revved rarely since 1.7. I've only revved once, but it was intentional. I think if you're just, like, full throttling, full sending, you can still rev, like, especially if you're passing juicy laws with revs, and people are going to be really upset. I don't know why I'm spending so much time trying to think this through. It's just because I like trying to make the better decision. But I think we just do this. We land these guys, we enforce on them. Our navy's way bigger than theirs. To be fair, they could be on metal ships. If they're on metal ships, we'll actually be in a bit of trouble. How are y'all cocky, man? Yeah, I just think recognition's bugged. This is going to be enough war goals that we're enforcing on Burgundy to become recognized again. It's not going to matter. We're going to pull our 14 stack back in case something really weird happens. We'll be able to send them out. So I think we'll just be safe against landings here. Just incredibly so. Damn, first time I see divergences. Yeah, I mean, it seems... it seems like they're bugs. I'm sorry. I mean, like, overall, it's still kind of like the same game. Maybe I'm just like... it's kind of over... I'm definitely over, like, emphasizing the importance or whatever of these bugs. They're really not that substantive, but us not being able to get recognition is really, like, kind of frustrating. Or we can't, well, we don't know if we can get it through ticking yet or not. Let's go Colonial Offices 3. I mean, it's really tempting to go Convocation. Oh. I think Colonial Offices 3 is just too good. We maybe should have gone Sacred Civics 2 way earlier, but now we're at the point where Colonial Offices 3 is next up on the ticket. I think you just have to go for it. They're not even multi-landing here. So they're just going to be landing into our 20 stack with a 30 stack navy and a 50 stack army. We'll allow one of these guys to borrow, so we'll be defending with a 25 stack. Once we deal with this revolt, they'll just come back here. Deal with that. We will be landing in on here. Building registry was added as a window to manage government-owned, privately owned buildings easily with a place with ownership filters. That makes sense. You need the mosque in Mali for the church boost. Oh, we could go for that. I don't think it starts constructed, so we can't really show it. Oh, we can still show it. I think in vanilla you can't show it off here, but it does get political strength and education access, but the education access is local. Unless the mod changed it back to what it used to be. It used to be global. The very, like, I think this was the first, like, 6 months after Victoria 3 came out, going after Messina, or in this mod it's called Eastern Mali, was the hyper meta most important expansion spot in the entire game, because getting this was just so important. So no matter who you played, you beelined this, and you also took Beijing, and China was way easier to push around, and you could like take Beijing as Greece. It's like I think like just about anyone, if you wanted to micro hard enough, I think we're gonna put a stop to it. This guy's an opium addict. We'll give him a couple promotions, you know what I mean? This guy's raising conscripts when he's not supposed to. That bug's a vanilla bug, though. Number one power block while unrecognized is crazy. Are we really the number one block? We are. But the problem is, we would, if it wasn't bugged, we would be recognized. We've enforced a lot of war goals on big people. Man, I have where you got that cheese, Danny, just stuck in my head right now. But we can see if anything's changed since we acquired them as a subject here. I don't think anything will have, but New Toledo's down to 62 mandate, or Liberty Desire. They're just gaining it so slow. We can't fund a lobby because we don't have a banking system, unfortunately. About to have Siak occupied. We're just gonna finish up this war. Yeah, they never get in here. Not on this. Almost full occupied here. To be fair, we can just abuse landings as well. Here are a bunch of the chop chops we're building in New Toledo. We're hoping, so it was 0.3 before, but we're hoping, right, as we get a larger share of their economy, we're getting more and more from this economic dependence here. So now it's 0.08 instead of 0.03. And this will allow us to reduce autonomy on more guys a little bit more aggressively. No one really likes being annexed, though. We would want to annex these guys. But it's not worth it, it's not worth it. Unless they just full-on accept. Because it will give a huge relation malice to everyone else who's a subject. These guys are surrounded with no way to resupply, so naturally they'll fight at full strength for forever. Strategy might be actually to intentionally lose this front. That way they don't have 100 stack here anymore. Just pull everyone off of it. Kinda cute. I think that is the strategy. Because them being surrounded doesn't do anything to them. Well, to be fair, they have market access through here, but if they have market access through there, then, like... Or they don't. Okay, so they're completely surrounded. And yet, high manpower, just perfect, perfectly fine. High morale. High offense. So, do be like that. We're moving these guys so that they lose the fronts. We want them to lose the fronts. We're just gonna move them back and forth until they have no battles. Then we're gonna park them somewhere else. And then can we stop the naval invasion? Cool. So you've reoccupied everything. Yes? Where'd that army go? It disappeared. Huzzah. They'd actually just get teleported back, though. Yeah, I was just allowed to teleport their army. That's fine, I suppose. Yeah, I don't see any of the Burgundians here anymore. So it's just these guys. I say just these guys, but to be fair, the double landing should be pretty powerful because if most of the troops are occupied. Why is this so shit? Alright, new plan. We just land the other place instead. Should have just not had this war goal, probably. We're digging ourselves out of debt a little bit here. Do we have sulfur here? We do. So let's put it on auto expand. And let's also put explosives factory down here. Put this on auto expand. This on auto expand. This on auto expand. Do you not have organization in the army? They do. I don't know why this landing's not going off, man. Maybe it's just bugged. Should be going off. Fine with that. Do some of that. Defending just fine here. Wyoming also has sulfur. Insanely productive industry. I think that's it for us for sulfur. We currently don't control SIAC. Why can't we land it? How are we confused? There's no navy. We have organization. It's not like we haven't waited for time to pass. The entire war score system is just like a little bit crazy because we didn't have SIAC and Pellenbug in here. This would be just like actually over. Okay, eventually we get in. Of course we get in instantly. They start assigning all their guys to the front. Now where is the capital of Pellenbang? I think it's the state that we couldn't occupy, right? So now, take this and we land here. No, actually, let's land here. Okay. Now, Burgundy should be sending guys. They're sending bros, but the bros won't be there in time. We hope. Doing well against the naval invasion here. And this is why we pulled off the front, because we just like 100% don't win at it's cheapest on the coal mines. It's a lot more efficient there. And here I think we actually just don't have a lot of workers. So we'll do that. Oh, maybe we should have taken this state. Oh, well, having two fronts is probably a little bit better. They're gonna get there in time. Son of a bizzle. To be fair, white piecing is not the end of the world here for us. But they're gonna get here in time to be able to defend this. Go. That should be in good shape. They're not defending the coast here. And I think that since these aren't connected, we'll get two fronts. They might not be able to defend the two fronts. The thing is, yeah, I think this might just end up being a white piece. I don't know, we're gonna occupy this state. We could maybe do some shenanigans here. Yeah, look at this. They're reliant on us. Way more economic dependence. We're lowering their liberty desire by a ton. So specifically for lowering liberty desire, interventionism's really good. But both these guys are vassals already in the scheme of things. We're just hoping that we get in and we get a push. So the naval landing, one more. We'll do it. Nationalization of women. What? Nationalized as common property. Jesus. It was... I thought it was just poor wording. Not like this. It's awkward. It's not what we meant. What? Not very easy to be legitimate while having these guys in. Just united. Okay, the tips touch. We go port to port. Them having no access doesn't do anything. God, it's so stupid. I mean, we definitely abuse this on the other side, so it's not like... Kind of with everything, it's like that. So it's not an insane thing. They're not ready for a white peace, but that might be what we get. So it's just a mistake for us to try and liberate both these guys. Or Siak was fine, but this was a bridge too far. Because we have to land, we can't land Palembang ourselves is the problem. If we could land them ourselves, we wouldn't need to land in Siak and then push. We would just land here and then push once. And we could do that before Burgundy arrived. So I think the play is just to wait out for white peace and then white peace and then get started in a, like, actually useful war. Bit unfortunate, but, like, we could go for... some of these guys. We are starting to get a lot of infamy reduction. Now we don't have versus unrecognized powers. We have colonial offices 3. What gives? Are they recognized? On that note, I think we're going to conclude the stream. Colonial offices is also bugged, which we've spent the past, like, 15 years getting the level 3 in. And the colonial offices as an institution without that infamy reduction sucks. And we don't have infamy reduction from being recognized, which we should be. Yeah, I don't know. I really like this mod. I guess I just think it's not updated. They haven't updated the resources either. There's no unique companies. The truth is probably not the only bugs, and these, like, dramatically shift the way you play the game. Now, if you wanted to play this mod for multiplayer, it's probably actually just still insane for multiplayer, but the fact that you're locked in on recognized versus unrecognized is a little bit rough. And we just, like, 3 3 out of 5 of our mandate is just useless, kind of. Okay, so I think we maybe find someone to raid on Twitch. How about Absolute Habibi? Casting a tournament for Hearts of Iron. That actually sounds interesting. Alright, so we're going to raid Absolute Habibi. And then we're also going to link him in the YouTube. Although I think we'll be back online in maybe an hour to play Path of Exile. Just take a little bit of break for food, something like this, then come back. If you want to come back then, you can. That's probably going to be the plan. And we'll send the raiders on their way. And now that the Twitchers are gone, just wanted to tell you guys, the YouTubers, you guys are my favorite streaming platform, audience, or chat. Definitely don't tell the Twitch this when we send you guys off first, but we'll give you guys the link here as well. And bid you adieu, farewell. See you in an hour, maybe, although I know Path of Exile is less your guys' thing. I mean, we kind of united Australia. We had these guys as our subjects. To be fair, we still had the European imperialists, but it do be like that sometimes. Biggest land border, modern, with France, is actually in Guyana, with Brazil. That is the biggest French land border in terms of French territory. Only 3 hours today? Did we start a little bit late? I think we started at 9:30. So 3 hours and 45 minutes, which is kind of usually what we do. 9:30 to 1:15 is kind of our normal time, and sometimes we just go way longer. But yeah, we're probably gonna go. I kind of want to play Poe. But we do yeah, we did 9:30 to 1:15, which is kind of our normal schedule. Just sometimes we go way over, especially if we have a ton of people. But anyways, bye-bye now.